This November, Eurocorps marks 20 years of existence since in the Place de la République de Strasbourg, the official ceremony was taken place. And how do you see these 20 years of existence of Eurocorps?
You know, for a young lady, 20 years is the age of beauty and fertility, and for Eurocorps, that's the age of excellence. I think that it's quite unique for Eurocorps. If you look at the community of the Corps headquarters, 20 years, that's one of the oldest Corps headquarters of this community. And during these 20 years, we have got a lot of experience, having 4 deployments, operational deployments abroad, and having twice been NATO certified. So 20 years, that's clearly the age of maturity for Eurocorps.
Eurocorps has 5 framework nations and 4 associated countries. In 2016, Poland will also become a framework nation. How do you see the Poland involvement, and will that be the next step for the development of Eurocorps? There are also other nations interested in becoming a framework nation, because also we know that the United States is also becoming an associate nation.
Yes, so first of all, the question of US. They are candidates to enter Eurocorps as an associated nation, so with less rights than a framework nation. But we have free for use 7 posts for US, and one of them is Chief G9, so it should be a colonel, and what we call in NATO OF5, responsible of civilian military cooperation. And so we are expecting these 7 guys very impatiently, since first of all, having US people in our structure means that we have, let's say, one more foot in NATO structure, of course, and we have more links to the US structure. And a second point is that having 7 US officers in our walls, in our barracks, means that we have native English-speaking people, which is good for our personnel. We use to speak English for the daily business, and that's my concern, to improve the knowledge of each of us, that we should be better in English. And so I hope that with US officers present in the structure, we can globally improve the quality of English within Eurocorps. The second point is Poland, of course. That's an excellent thing for Eurocorps to welcome Poland in Eurocorps. They will be present from the 1st of January 2016 as a framework nation, the 6th framework nation, with more than 100 people. And as far as I know, if I look at the Polish officers, they are excellent. They are experienced. They are very able to, let's say, to adapt themselves to the structure, to the spirit of Eurocorps. They are flexible, and they like to live in Strasbourg. So that's a real plus for the structure. And one more advantage is that basically our, what we call the peace establishment, let's say the amount of people present in the structure on peacetime, will not augment. It means that with the arrival of Poland officers, we will decrease participation of other nations, which is of course the wish of framework nations like France, Belgium, Spain and Germany. So basically that's an excellent thing for Eurocorps. Moreover, they will bring with them some material, for instance trucks and so on. And so basically it will improve not only the quality of our personnel, but it will improve our capacity to deploy Eurocorps abroad.
At the Munich Security Conference in 2011, NATO Secretary General presented in his speech the new approach, smart defense. Is Eurocorps also ready to apply this policy also?
That's quite difficult to make a direct link between the smart policy and the way we can use Eurocorps in the future. If I come first back to the SMART initiative, once again, it's clear that we have to mutualize resources. We cannot afford having single nation operation in the future. We must have, let's say, a bunch of resources, of people, capabilities, capacities, ready to enter an operation abroad. I think that single nation operations in the future, we must forget about it. Eurocorps is clearly ready to enter multinational operations, since we are training every day, we are working every day in a multinational environment, and we have, let's say, both hats. We are NATO compatible, we are EU compatible, so we are ready basically, and I think that the single structure in the NATO community, Eurocorps is the single structure able to enter whichever operation in the short term, being able to have, let's say, people NATO-minded, people EU-minded, and that's, I think, what makes Eurocorps very, very specific and very interesting. I'm not sure that during the summit this year in December, I'm not sure that they will address finally security issues as a first priority. I'm afraid that they will deal first of all with economics, budget and so on. But I've taken some contacts with EU parliamentarians just to make them aware of that Eurocorps has been a little bit forgotten in the past years, and that we should remember some structures, some politicians, that if they wish to have a command structure ready for use, Eurocorps is the best possible structure. So I hope that this key message will be passed during this conference, and I'm afraid that if they don't take firm decisions during this summit around defense issues and European defense, it will be perhaps a missed occasion. It's not the last one, but I'm afraid that if we miss the train during this conference, we will lose perhaps 2, 3 or more years.
So you need to play a more lobby on European Parliament to put the Eurocorps on the agenda, or to put Eurocorps as a main military structure of European Union?
I try to be ambitious but realistic, and you know, Eurocorps, it's in this whole game of European defense, Eurocorps is just a brick, a small brick, as the French-German brigade is as well. And we must first remember, European Parliament, that we are existing for 20 years, that we have been used 4 times abroad, we have been 2 times certified. When I talk to European parliamentarians, very often they even don't remember that Eurocorps is existing, which is a shame. And so the first of all is we have to make lobbying, that's clear. We have to knock at the right door and trying to reach the right persons, just to remind them that there is in Strasbourg a command structure with about 400 very high qualified people, that we have 600 more people in this barracks in Lizé able to support this headquarters, and that we have finally a huge bunch of let's say, field accommodation materials, which means that we have not only the staffing capacity in these headquarters, but we have a deployment capacity.
So if they will ask you to deploy in a major crisis scenario, let's say Syria, for example, the recent example, in how many days you could deploy to stabilize the crisis?
Well, first of all, I think that Syria is not...
To deploy a joint operation command.
No, so first of all, I think that Syria is not the right example, not the good example. Of course, it's not my business to tell something about opportunity or not to go to Syria. I think that this question is not on the table anymore. It's too late. That's my personal opinion, and I think that many specialists are dealing my opinion. Anyway, if we are supposed to be, for instance, on a long-term rotation plan, NATO or EU, so entering a role, we must be able to deploy in 30 days. 30 days. Okay. In some occasions, we must be able to deploy a part of us within 5 days. So it's not a question of permanent deployability. We are not permanently deployable on a 30 days notice, of course, for many reasons. And it's the case for every kind of structure in NATO and the EU. But if we are supposed to be on a slot somewhere on a rotation plan, in this case we will take appropriate measures to be able to deploy within 30 days, and in some cases in less 5 days.